So this is like probably the third time. I'm sorry. So I got my wood delivered this weekend, and I've been working on this project, and you can see like there's like a load of wood that came down my bulkhead, and I started stacking, and I have one pile here and another starting here, and it's going to be a total of 4 cords, so I still have more wood to deliver. But I found it interesting that yesterday, after the weekend, so today is Tuesday, and after the weekend of sporting stuff with my kids, in which I had to transport them, and then the biggest thing for me I found, and now I understand why, I always thought that I was an introvert and defined it as this, and I do still feel like I strongly relate to the introvert, but that socializing in of itself was extremely draining. And like a lot of people are like, yeah, socializing is, can be draining for introverts, but what made me kind of start to understand that, particularly for me, it was more draining than most people, is that after a weekend of socializing, even if it's not like partying or whatever, just regular social interactions, I'm like, my executive functioning hits the floor. Like, I kind of thought that was normal for most people until I started kind of reading more about autism. And I think the biggest flag for me was I enter into kind of like a burnout phase, and I realize now that the burnout is related to me masking so hard during my socialization, and the energy that I'm expending trying to figure out what is going on and how I'm supposed to respond in any given situation. I previously related some of that stuff to anxiety, because it's the only name that I could figure out, but I never really felt anxious like around other people, really. It was more just like a lot of mental processing and work, and basically confusion surrounding social interactions, like me having to translate what the person was saying and into like language that I understood, and then like taking what I thought or wanted to say and like putting it back into language that they understood and translating it back. And I didn't realize until I started reading a lot more about autism that's not how people normally feel about social interactions. So that being said, so yesterday, Monday, after a week of really a weekend of socializing, I was like exhausted, and I had to take the day off from work because I literally couldn't do anything. I couldn't make any decisions. But at the end of the day yesterday, I started feeling better a bit because I had kind of isolated for all of the day, and then I came downstairs to work on this project, and this is where like I realized that like I'm also not neurotypical. So before I got wood, my process was like canvassing everybody's wood piles that I could see, and like assessing the structural integrity of every wood pile, and like visually, and like anything that I got an opportunity to get close up to, I would like touch and try to move. I thought that was like normal, but apparently people just kind of pile their wood how they feel like they pile it, and there's no like method to it, or no particular method to it, or no real, I guess, like studied and researched method to it. But I spent like weeks and weeks like collecting visual data and about wood piles. So I came up with this method, and it's basically like I think you can see it better here. And I'm only demonstrating this because I feel like it's really indicative of like a neurodivergence approach to any task. So like if you can see, like every other layer is like alternate direction. So this layer goes this way, the wood goes this way it goes this way, and then each like column, I do them in columns, and each column is like a different direction. And so what you end up having is this like pile of wood that's like structural integrity is really strong. And like I can like test it by like climbing on it, and I have my kids like climb on it, or like try to climb on it, or I try to push it over and knock it over to see if it's gonna stand up. And I kind of using this as a metaphor for like someone who has a combination of like autism and ADHD. So the wood, my wood comes like only in the wintertime. So for me, it's like a novel thing. And so that like is like a sort of like a dopamine hit. And the fact that I have this like challenge to like set and overcome, it's kind of like, it's like a dopamine trigger. I will note that like as the winter goes on, if I have to deal with this wood like more, I get like so tired of it. It does not hit the dopamine button anymore, and then it's more like really, really awful. But right now it's like new and it's dopamine. And my ADHD stuff comes out in like my planning and my like intense amount of research that has gone into like getting these, and even the location within my downstairs is like mapped out. So I guess this is not like something that like everybody does, like weeks of research about wood and testing the structural integrity. Anyways, I know it's kind of like a basic kind of a thing, but I feel like it's more, it's like an analogy that represents like how my brain works whenever I have to do any particular challenge. It's like lots of upfront planning, and as soon as like I get the thing, or like get the material or whatever that I can that I need to do the project, it's like really exciting and a lot of intense interest, and then it like really drops rapidly. So being said, I'm hacking it by like using the dopamine right now and like my interest in this, and just like pushing through and getting it done. And despite the fact that yesterday I was flat out and I could not like really do much, and definitely no socialization, today I have like the energy to do stuff and to plan and to accomplish things. So I don't know, I think my goal in the future, and I'm thinking about like other people that also I have my noise canceling headphones. I don't know how I didn't know I was autistic before. I like live in these. I like wear these even when there's no noise or music. I just wear them because they feel like good on my head. Anyways, yeah, so I don't know. I think one of the areas that I need to kind of work on is like energy management. And if there are any other people that are autistic that watch this at all, or I don't know, I don't have that many followers right now, but or any ADHDers that experience kind of like burnout periods, like how to manage that, and how to kind of prevent, because I can't, like, it's not like when I have a day of bad executive dysfunctioning that I don't want to do things while I'm like debilitated. So it's not like depression. I want to do things, but I literally cannot do things. Like my brain and my body will not allow me to do things. And it can be really disruptive. I kind of want to have a more even state, and I don't know how to do that. And I feel like at this point I need to turn to the autistic and neurodivergent community, because you probably are self-aware of things that work for you. But right now I feel like I can only ride the waves of like energy and like executive functioning when they're here. And sometimes I like push it too hard and I like crash on the other end of it. So I kind of want to stop that, because it's no fun. I don't know. And yeah, that's all I got for today. And I think as I go through this journey, I like want to share more, and like I'm hoping to get feedback from people out there that feel like they have been living with their diagnosis, even if it's self-diagnosis or whatever, and have some like feedback or insight on like how to do this better, how to live in this world and like not, and like be able to function and like accept how this is this reality. So anyways, thanks for watching if you're watching, and I'm gonna get back to my hyper organized wood piles.